Hello everybody, and here we are at Throwback Thursday again, and as you can see the pandemic is still around. I'm in my office at home, which is where I spend most of my time now. But we're going to give you a little treat here. We're actually going to show you something that was never aired before for our Throwback Thursday. Again, I'd used a green screen, and so of course, you know, you give me a green screen, God knows what I put back there, and that's sort of what happened there. So basically, I couldn't get it approved to be aired at the time that I did it in 2016. So this is the first time you guys get to see it. It's got some valuable information on soldering, and hopefully you're going to like it. So here it is, myself from 2016. So most of the time, once you start getting into drone racing, you're going to want to build your own. Now they do come already assembled, and you can have them assembled. Some places will custom assemble them for you. But most racers assemble their own, and they put their own equipment on, their own ESC, their board, whatever it is they like to use. So there are probably 4 main parts that you have to solder up, that you have to learn how to solder, and each requires a little different technique, but it's pretty much the same. The first part is your battery. You want to basically have an XT60 plug, which is this type of plug here on this battery. And so if it doesn't come with a plug, you might have to replace it. So on this particular battery, I have a Dean's plug, and I want to take that off and put one of those plugs on. So we'll show you how to solder up a plug to a battery, because that is a completely different technique as compared to other ones, and it's a much thicker battery. Then the next thing you'll do is you're going to have a basically a power distribution board like this, and you're going to be soldering up mostly your ESCs to this, and then you're also going to be soldering up your power cable to this, or your power plug to this, that's going to plug into your battery. So you got to solder onto that. From there, you end up cutting these wires relatively short and soldering them onto the ESC, and that allows you to clean up and get rid of all these wires, so you don't have extra weight on the board, on the quad, and so you have to learn how to solder on those, and then shrink wrap that once you're done. And probably the part that's going to require the most precise soldering is going to be to your controller board. This is there's very small little soldering ports there, and a pencil soldering gun is going to work the best. So you want to be careful about heat distribution on this board, so you really want to make it quick and fast. So I use a pencil soldering iron for almost all of these, and this one works really well on it. And again, if you have it with a heat controller, that allows you to use just about solder onto anything if you want to control the heat some more. I like to keep the heat high and then just touch it down for a brief amount of time. I feel that when the heat's low and you keep it on the board longer, it dissipates the heat more and spreads it out, and has more of a chance of affecting the board. My own personal philosophy on that, you don't have to follow that. You can use set the heat level to depend on what you're going to do. You would have it on very high for soldering onto a battery plug, and very low or much lower for soldering onto a board like this. So those are the things that we're going to be soldering up. Let's check that out in the next movie.